the heart of Egypt, beating under the relentless heat of the desert sun, bore witness to the birth of a woman who would go down in the annals of infamous crime. Omaima Aree Nelson came into the world in a society where the cruelties of life were woven into the very fabric of her being. From a young age, she bore the scars of the brutal practice of female genital mutilation. As a child growing up in the bustling streets of Cairo, she soon learned the world was a harsh, unforgiving place. Haunted by her past, Omaima decided to flee the life she knew and the memories that scarred her. The United States, the land of the free, became her beacon of hope, a promise of a new life that led her across the Atlantic. In the year 1986, she set foot on American soil, determined to escape the traumas of her past. She sought anonymity in the bustling urban sprawl of Los Angeles, where dreams were made and broken. Striving to make her own dreams come true, Omaima worked as a model and a nanny, lost in the city of angels. Within this maze of dreams, she found herself in the arms of a man who seemed to have walked right out of an adventure novel. William E. Bill Nelson was an experienced pilot, his graying hair and sparkling eyes speaking volumes of the many skies he had conquered. To Omaima, he seemed like the perfect escape from her monotonous life, a chance at love she hadn't dared to hope for. Their love story unfolded like a tale told in hushed whispers under the desert stars. Within days of their meeting, the unlikely pair exchanged vows, their connection so intense it felt as if they were destined to be together. However, the adage held true. Things that burn twice as bright often burn half as long. Barely a month into their marriage, Omaima's dreams turned into nightmares. The man she had hoped would be her refuge transformed into a monster, subjecting her to unimaginable sexual abuse. Their home, once a sanctuary, became a torturous labyrinth from which Omaima saw no escape. The culmination of her horror was realized on a cold November night in 1991. In their modest apartment in Costa Mesa, California, Omaima's despair peaked. When the man she once loved became the embodiment of her terror, she saw no other way out. Armed with scissors and a clothes iron, Omaima engaged in a deadly dance of fear and survival. In the end, Bill, the man who once commanded the sky, lay lifeless in their home, victim to his wife's desperate act of self-preservation. The act that followed was something out of a horror tale. In an eerie ritual that blurred the line between reality and nightmare, Omaima set about obliterating the physical evidence of her tormentor's existence. Bill's body was dismembered, his head cooked and hands boiled to remove any trace of his identity. In an act of twisted symbolism, she castrated Bill, a grim payback for the heinous acts he had subjected her to. She took the gruesome task further, cooking his ribs and indulging in an act of cannibalism, an action she would later deny vehemently. Her dark secret, however, refused to stay buried. Just days after the horrific event, Omaima found herself in the hands of law enforcement. Arrested on suspicion of murder on December 2, 1991, her quiet life in California was thrown into the harsh light of international scrutiny. The subsequent trial revealed her tragic past and the horrific events that had unfolded in her life. The courtroom was silent, as the prosecution presented a tale of grotesque horror, forcing the spectators to bear witness to the monstrous deeds carried out in the quiet city of Costa Mesa. Her defense painted a picture of a young woman scarred by trauma and abuse, driven to her wits' end by a man she once loved. On January 12, 1993, after an agonizing trial, the gavel fell, sealing Omaima's fate. She was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years to life in prison, forever tethered to the consequences of one horrifying night. Her story didn't end there. The enigma of Omaima Nelson continued to cast a long, dark shadow over public consciousness. Her first bid for parole came in 2006. However, the specter of her unpredictable nature and the risk she posed to public safety kept her confined within the cold, hard walls of the California Institution for Women. 5 years later, in 2011, she once again came before the parole board. Despite the passage of time, she remained a figure of fear, her remorse for the gruesome murder seemingly non-existent. Her lack of responsibility for the crime, coupled with concerns about her integration into society, led to another denial of parole. Her next opportunity for freedom would not come until 2026. Throughout her imprisonment, the chilling tale of Omaima Nelson refused to fade into obscurity. The media, fascinated by the disturbing nature of her crime, continued to bring her story to the forefront. She was compared to the fictional serial killer and cannibal, Hannibal Lecter, a character from Thomas Harris's novel, The Silence of the Lambs. Her tale found its way onto the silver screen as well, with multiple television programs documenting her horrific crime. From investigation discoveries programs Happily Never After and Deadly Women to an episode of Snapped, Omaima's story was retold to audiences around the globe. Even in the world of social media, her story found a platform in the popular YouTuber Bailey Sarian's weekly series, Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday. Each retelling of her tale served as a grim reminder of the darker recesses of the human mind, a chilling testament to the extremes a person could be driven to in the face of desperation and abuse. Omaima Aree Nelson, a woman born under the Egyptian sun, her life marked by pain and tragedy, would forever remain a haunting figure in the annals of crime history. Her story a disturbing testament to the hidden darkness that can lie within the human heart. When you subscribe, be sure to hit the notification bell. Click here for more true scary stories.